at this point. If it's not, then, well, I don't know what to say. It's not sustainable now that, dang it, Canada, we're in Winnipeg. A&W sausage and egg. It's a good breakfast sandwich. Is it good for you? No. Is it good? Yes. Cool to make yourself want to be cranky in the morning? I don't think it's the cold weather. We've hitchhiked and streamed out below zero already. Shouldn't be that. It's just the Canadian reception. It's not the best. Think you're woke enough to burn it off? Yeah. It'd still be better to eat more healthy food, but I don't gain weight. Biggest difference in hitchhiking in EU versus NA in your experience? Like, for sure when you're in countries that aren't English first language, like your the English countries being like Ireland, Wales, England, Scotland, well, Wales, well, anyway, Ireland, they have their own Gaelic, but very English. The language barrier is the obvious answer. I'm trying to think of something a little bit different than that. How many times have you smoked weed? I used to smoke weed a couple times a month, my whole youth. I don't know. Maybe just like Canada and like around here is like fairly recently developed, and there's like city planning and like stuff like that, where a lot of European countries have been there for hundreds or sometimes thousands of years, and these cities and stuff kind of grew organically, and kind of the streets just kind of, they don't make like city-wise sense for like efficiency, but it's kind of organic and beautiful that way. But you never know what you're gonna really get with Europe, wherever you go, because they kind of just like expanded as they wanted to, and sometimes they expanded in weird ways. Where a lot of times in North America, it's a planned expansion. Sebedy, thanks for the host. I'm from Sebedy. Welcome to Hitch Live. If you haven't been here before, the name is explanatory. What I do is I hitchhike and then I do that live. So right now I'm on a Hitchhiking Canada trip, heading from the west coast where I live, British Columbia, to St. John's, Newfoundland, which is as far east as you can go in North America. And then we're going to TwitchCon after that. So I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada right now. We'll be heading east after I eat this. 13 minutes ago. Slexy, thanks for the 100 bits. Thank you. Speaking of 70, I really like what he's doing with his stream. So, me being an outdoors streamer doing stuff outside, whatever, I like seeing what else people are doing outside in the world. And so he's been biking across Japan. I think that's really cool. Any difference between hitchhiking in Canada and the US? Really, like, it's very similar. It's very similar. I think probably the biggest difference is just once we get in and I tell people I'm from Canada, we have like a oh, we're from different countries, let's talk about that conversation. In Canada, you don't have that conversation. We're both from Canada, albeit if I'm from BC and they're from here, like say Manitoba, then we might talk about provincial stuff. But like the biggest differences for hitchhiking is whether that's in like a town-to-town situation or like around big cities. That's usually the biggest difference I see with hitchhiking. Is it's not actually country by country, it's just kind of what type of area you're in. I still don't know where I'm staying for TwitchCon. Still don't know where I'm staying. Orange Trip, that burger looks good? Yeah. A&W Sausage Danger, my favorite breakfast sandwich. You got a tent? Yes. Marmot Tungsten 1P, 1 person tent. Nice neutral green color, small footprint, freestanding, really easy to set up. It's a good tent. Want to try poutine fries? We had that last night here in Winnipeg at Smokes Poutineery. But we'll be having that again in Quebec. I would just set up outside the convention center. That's what you're talking about. I was like, you know I have a tent. You've been here. I guess I could, couldn't I? Is it good? Yeah. Most of the traffic I'm seeing, I can see the Trans-Canada right now. Most of it's heading into town, which makes sense. It's 7:45 a.m. on a weekday, so a lot of people are heading inland or in towards the city, commuting for work and such. Yesterday, something about how the my backpack was sitting on my hips and how my pants and boxers were sitting. Now I've got essentially messed my hips up. They'll be fine, but it's definitely as an injury. That place has really thin burger patties in Canada. That's supposed to be really good. I don't know about that. When do you expect to meet up with Emily? I don't know if I am. She's rather busy. Remember, my hips started to go. That's just getting old sugar cookies. Whatever. They're being abrased. You okay now, backpack good? Yeah, I'm okay. Like, my hips would just be sore because they were rubbing in a specific way, so then there's obvious damage there. How did your parents react when you first went hitchhiking? My mom didn't like it and asked me not to. My dad was just like, you do you. you could massage. Well, it's like external, like essentially like almost tearing skin kind of stuff. Essentially, I just need, my hips just need a couple days to recover themselves. But that happens on every trip, and I took my couple weeks off. Like when I started on this trip again, I could already tell like my feet weren't as used to me walking again. I got sore bottom of my feet like the first couple days a little bit, not too bad, but a little bit. I'm like, wow, I already lost my my resilience from taking a few days off. It always happens at the start of a trip where the first couple weeks you're adapting to the traveling phase, and then once you're in it, you're good. And usually there's a hip process as well. I'm skinny, so I have hip bones. And there's always a period at the start where I get bruised hips. Emily Rex. I hitch, drink vodka. Not last night. Didn't touch alcohol. I'm still done with alcohol. After the Ukrainian night, had it with alcohol. Had it. Taking a break. Me and alcohol. Alright. Almost done this. I'm gonna just drink a coffee. Any questions? Well, now and when I'm hitchhiking, it's a good time. And then we'll be hitting the road. We'll be in Ontario very shortly. Day visit. Got to be back on the road. Any plans are after Canada. After Canada, TwitchCon. And then another trip. Who knows where? Those 8 shots when you don't drink a lot will mess you up. Yeah, 8 shots on an essentially empty stomach. The last major thing I ate before I started drinking was a bagel in Saskatoon. We hitchhike to TwitchCon. I think I'm gonna try. I might just run out of time. Just almost hope one day you go and see Victor again. I would love to. I have, he has my contact info, and I have his cell phone number, so. Even just to say, howdy do, kangaroo. Stop by his town, just be like, howdy do, kangaroo. Victor. See ya. Morning Aussie. And yeah, Scaramanga. Early stream. Has Laramie, who works in the morning. It worked best for him and stuff to drop me off relatively early, which I have no problem doing. So, that means early stream. Is Victor from last night? Victor's from 2 nights ago? 2 days ago. 2 nights ago I left Victor's. Hitch Live, we'll watch your progress today. If you get to Thunder Bay, hope to maybe catch up with you. Name here is Fred. Alright. Yeah. If I make it to Thunder Bay, totally down to meet people. Your favorite people were the nice ranchers that oiled your boots? Yeah, Cal and Kim. That's definitely one of the standout rides from the Hitchhiking America trip, as far as generous people going out of their way to help out little old me. Literally took the shoes off my feet and oiled them. Longest time I've been on the road, 8 months. That was my 23 country around the world trip back in 2015. So then you can't stream us at TwitchCon, the crew stream us at YouTubeCon. Would they even have every convention like that, as far as I've heard, is essentially a dead spot for network connectivity because everyone's trying to use their cell phones. It's like a tech convention almost. Do you think anyone would even be able to stream at TwitchCon? How do you fund these trips and jobs when you hike? Traditionally, what I do is I work, I save up money, I quit my job, I go travel, I get low on money, go back home, get a new job, get a new life, save up money, quit my job, go travel. That's what I did for 4 years previous to streaming it. 5+ months ago now, I started streaming it. Then after a couple months, it became self-sustaining through a stream, through this stream. So essentially, I can just keep going. And that sounds great, and it's really cool. But hitchhiking is an exhausting way of traveling. So I need breaks. Need a lot of money for hitchhiking? No. It depends how you do it. So hitchhiking makes your transportation free. But there's a few different expenses you're going to have when you're traveling, and transportation is just one of them. The other major ones, a really major one, as far as your day-to-day cost, is accommodation. If you pay for accommodation, it's a substantial chunk of money. So, here in North America, there is no hostel network. And if there are hostels, they're not cheap. Quite often they're the price of a motel anyway. In the US and stuff, it's $40-something a night for a hostel. In major cities, it was $50 a night for a hostel. That's just accommodation. Then you have food, entertainment, incidentals on top of that. So yeah, hitchhiking's cheap in the fact that you're not paying for transportation. But it's what else you do along that trip that really sets the budget. You could hitchhike and then stay in 5-star hotels at the end of the night if you wanted to. You can do that. When me and Emily hitchhiked from Montpelier, Vermont to Boston, when we got to Boston, I used Hotwire to celebrate just our little, me and Emily hitchhiking, finishing that part. I celebrated by getting a Hotwire for a 5-star hotel in Boston. Just for fun, for one night. But I don't work at jobs while I'm hitchhiking. I have once, but I didn't get paid. I got paid in room and board, essentially, in Croatia. You're inspiring, man. Yep, get out there. You don't have to hitchhike, but I think it's a really positive thing to go out and see the world and experience different cultures and meet different people. Open yourself up to humanity a little bit. You should do a big summer hitchhiking stream that worked great this past summer. Yeah. But what I've learned from taking 2 weeks off is consistency is a requirement to continue streaming, or to continue growing a stream. Consistency is required. I took 2.5 weeks off and my viewership dropped by 75%, which is fine. I have no expectations. I never got into this to make money or anything like that. The reality is you have to be fairly consistent when you stream. Missed quite the storms in Ontario today. Which part of Ontario? And what type of storms? How far in Ontario are you coming? Well, across. I'll be going through Montreal, so we're about to cross. First place, major place hit is Kenora. Kenora to Montreal, about 2,000 kilometers. Doing hitchhiking trips, have you met other hitchhikers? I'll meet some on occasion. It's not that common. There's not too many people hitchhiking now that you see all the time. But they're out there, and you'll run into them on occasion. But you didn't have consistency prior to starting the summer hitchhike, and you did great, or maybe you did, wasn't here. I started hitchhiking America April 10th with 0 followers and 0 anything, and I streamed all summer, 6 or 7 days a week, and the stream went well. But as soon as I stopped doing that, then that goes away. Tornado warnings all the way from Windsor to Toronto. Wow. Remember that one hitchhiker tried to talk to you and just walked away? Yes, that was interesting. Where was that? And then I walked really far just to go through a different on-ramp because I was hopping interstate on-ramps. Also tried an airport there for some airplane hitchhiking. I remember who picked me up after that. I just can't remember exactly where I was. I think I was heading into Indianapolis. I think also the timing has to do with it. And yeah, Laramie said that yesterday, and that makes total sense too. Summer, there's higher viewership on Twitch in general. That does make sense. I don't think I'd drop 75% though. Find your streams linked to Stephen FRA. Yeah, and that's one of the things I like about Twitch is like streamers kind of like post other channels, smaller channels, bigger channels, and it kind of helps people find other types of content. And it's kind of cool. How are we going to hitchhike if people have been flying cars? Also, if cars are self-driving, you're hitchhiking, a self-driving car is not going to pull over for you. Found it on our hitchhiking. Yeah, again, speaking of our hitchhiking, I think last time this came up, way back in 2014 when I first started hitchhiking, I think I got some of my hitchhiking tips and stuff like that from that subreddit, hitchhiking. So that sub is part of the reason I've done as much hitchhiking as I have today, as it's kind of an open community of people, you know, sharing their experience on how they hitchhike. I think I'd want to be walking along the road with self-driving cars. I'm sure once self-driving cars are actually a thing, they'll be very capable of recognizing that you're a person and that they do not want to hit you with their car. Eaten pie. Good morning. I think I trust self-driving cars more than some drivers. Yeah, once they're really out, I think I will too. And they already have self-driving cars like kind of on a test-by-test basis. Actually, when I was in Las Vegas, I used like Lyft, and I went to like get a ride, and I had like a notification that it's like, there's a chance that your Lyft ride here in Las Vegas will be by a driverless car. Is that something you're comfortable with? Do you consent to potentially having a ride with a car that doesn't have a person driving it. And I'm like, yes, that would be interesting. I didn't get one, but that's okay. But a car that's self-driving is going to have a better reaction time and probably better problem solving once they figure these things out. But what I was going to say is they already have these self-driving cars driving around, and their safety record is very good. Like, I think they've been in a few accidents, but that's like them getting rear-ended or something like that. But if that becomes like all the cars are self-driving, then yes, that would destroy hitchhiking a bit, wouldn't it? Let's see. But yeah, Skoogum Sugar, that's what we're talking about. Would a driverless car pick up a hitchhiker? No, wouldn't. Driverless car is either driving with someone who already owns that car, or is renting that car, like whatever. Or it's going to pick someone up, or it's going to get recharge or whatever. There's no way they're picking up a hitchhiker. It's only a matter of time before we are flying. See, and like people have always thought we'd be transitioning to flying cars. That's kind of been like, since we started flying, people thought we'd transition from driving to flying, I think. It just hasn't happened. It's not with technology we have right now. It's not. Like, it just doesn't make sense at this point. I don't think any kind of flying is because you deal with an extra dimension. It's not just left and right that you're turning and like forward and backwards, like stopping, going. You have verticality to deal with as well, and a whole lot of potential energy from your height above the ground. A lot more can go wrong when you're, 10,000 feet in the air. Self-driving cars, you'd have to hop them like trains, so hitchhiking becomes car hopping. There you go. Because yeah, they're self-driving, so I don't know. I have that parasail car that can fly without a license, and that's pretty easy. So in order to fly without like a license, does it just need to be under a certain weight, and then it's like an ultralight craft, and then you can just fly it, whatever? What's the difference between a hitchhiker and a hobo? Hitchhiking is a method of transportation. Hobo, I don't know what the definition is. Like, people, you can be many things and a hitchhiker, but like saying someone's a hitchhiker doesn't really say that much. It's just a method of transportation. Basically an ultralight, yeah. So I guess that skirts it. I still wouldn't, like, you take all the people that drive on the roads these days and give them an ultralight airplane, essentially. That's terrifying. And I'm not saying I would be like the most competent person. Like, I don't know how to fly. I love flying, but like you put a bunch of people that don't know how to fly in congested airspace because now everyone's flying. Bad things gonna happen. Biggest risk about hitchhiking: driving itself. At least, in my opinion, the biggest risk with hitchhiking is driving itself. A lot of people don't realize just how dangerous driving is. You're going a very high rate of speed, very close to other people also going high rates of speed, either driving in the same direction as you or driving opposite lane of you, when you're driving with an oncoming car, like on a single lane in each direction highway, or you're going 100 km/h in each direction, you've got about a meter between just driving along and a net 200 km/h impact. And I've driven with some really bad drivers because I cannot screen for someone's driving capability by talking to them before I get in the car. I can screen for their kind of mental sanity, their sobriety, stuff like that by talking to them, but I cannot screen for their driving capability. They can be the kindest person in the world and I could get along great with them, but they could be an incompetent driver that is a risk to themselves and everyone else on the road, and that has happened several times. So that's my biggest fear with hitchhiking, is people that cannot drive. Some people hitchhike when they have $1 million when their car breaks down in the middle of nowhere, and that happens less and less now. That used to be, like, when I ask people if they've ever hitchhiked, a lot of the time the answer is, yeah, my car broke down. So what are you going to do? Car broke down, you run out of gas, what are you going to do? Now, things are so much more connected and everyone has a cell phone and stuff like that. There's less and less places where you're breaking down and there's no way for you to contact, like, some kind of AAA roadside service things. And a lot of people have free annual roadside service things, so if you break down, if you run out of gas, they'll bring you out gas, they'll send you a tow truck. You don't have to hitchhike. Because most people do not want to hitchhike. Here we got picked up by someone that was under the influence, and you realized after it was too late. I'm trying to think if anyone has been like really drunk or under the influence when I got in. It's happened several times where I got in and then they started partaking at that point, and then at a certain point I get out of there because I don't want to be around that. But yeah, I've been around a variety of different substances with hitchhiking and the drivers. And it's one aspect that I don't like about it. I don't like that. I hate drinking and driving. No, it just bothers me. Or any kind of intoxicated. If you're not mentally capable, you shouldn't be driving a vehicle because you're a risk to everyone around you. But you did screen the guy driving carelessly to pick you up. Yes. But most people, they'll just pull over normally, and it's not like how they pulled over. Really makes me question their driving capability. His did, because he drove way past me and then drove backwards in the lane of traffic, honking his horn. I'm like, this guy's crazy. What are you eating? I had a A&W sausage and egg breakfast sandwich. Alright, I'm pretty much ready to head out there. Just gotta look at a map really quickly. And if you guys remember Travis from a few days ago, he picked me up out of Edmonton, drove me to Saskatoon, and he's like sponsored traveling. He has that cool converted ambulance and stuff like that. Oh, speaking of which, Travis Travels Orgs, I was just about to plug you, because you just sent me a message saying your Twitch channel. I was just about to plug your Twitch channel. So if you see into the chat, Travis Travels Org, that is Travis that drove me from Edmonton to Saskatoon. And now he's going to stream on Twitch, as far as I know. Well, welcome to Twitch, Travis. Welcome to Twitch. I'll have to check out your stream at some point. And yeah, at some point I'll throw you a host or a raid and see what you're up to with your stream. Vapors, good morning. Or am I? I am in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Hey, where are you now? Yeah. Where are you? Because you had a lot of driving to do. I best be putting my stuff together and getting ready to go though. Need to update your phone. We're gonna start. Where are you starting out of? Like, what's your current location? Out of curiosity. Maybe I've been there before. Park River, Michigan. Okay, I have not been there. Not that I know of. Is that northern Michigan? Where in Michigan is that? It's not familiar to me. 1,200 kilometers though. It's a decent chunk. You're gonna do that in 2 days? Today and tomorrow? 1,200 is a little much to do in a day. 2 days doable. But you can do it. Average 100 kilometer an hour, 12-hour day. It's a long day. It's doable. Yes, Todd, your pilot friend, is your buddy from California. Yeah, people were saying that, yeah, you guys were already, yeah, you had each other on Instagram and stuff like that. And then you posted saying some of the small world, yeah. That's interesting. Park River is in the upper Michigan. Okay. So if you try and stream from up there, I'm not sure if you're planning on streaming from up there, you probably have some connection issues outside of towns. But that's just the reality of live streaming and such. 2-day trip going kite surfing along the way. Nice. But yeah, that is really funny. For those who don't know who Todd is from California, Todd is the guy that taught me how to hitchhike on airplanes. So, and then you meet his friend up in Edmonton, hitchhike. Vapors, thank you for gifting a sub to Travis Travels.org. So, Travis, welcome to the Twitch Hikers. You are now a sub to this channel. What that means is you'll have sub-specific emotes. You won't get an ad at the beginning of when you join the channel. Yeah, welcome. What's the average price per day while hitchhiking? It depends on how I'm living, if I have to pay for accommodation ever. On Hitchhiking Canada, I haven't paid for any accommodation. I've slept in my tent or been offered places to stay. So that cuts out a bit of expense. On most hitchhiking trips I've been on, I pretty much refuse to pay for accommodation. Now with the stream, I have 3 days of streaming and then I have to recharge overnight. Otherwise I run out of batteries and I can't run the stream. So after 3 days, there's kind of an immediate need to sleep inside. Not even sleep inside, recharge overnight. I need 8 to 12 hours to recharge these big batteries. And I can't do that outside usually, so that's where some of the push for me to sleep inside and do that is. But yes, at the end of my Hitchhiking America trip, I was spending a lot of time sleeping inside and paying for accommodation, which boosted my daily costs up significantly. My daily costs on Hitchhiking Canada have been very minimal, very small. On Hitchhiking America, there was days where I was spending, well, as much as accommodation plus food and stuff like that. So sometimes accommodation's like $100 plus a day. Portable solar panel, maybe. I used one. It didn't work well for my uses. It didn't get me an extra day. I still had 3 days of power. It wasn't enough to be sustaining at all. It just didn't work that well. I had a 21 watt Anchor Solar something. And I got it specifically because the whole Hitchhiking America trip, when we talk about power, people are like, you should get a solar panel. Trevor, you should get a solar panel. Trevor, solar panel. And I'm like, fine, I'll get a solar panel and I'll use it and we'll see if it works. And I was not satisfied with its output. About charging for someone's 12-volt plug in the car. Yeah, now things are really spread out and I'm getting longer rides. Like today would probably make sense. Like Kenora to Thunder Bay, I'm probably gonna get that in like a long ride or something like that, you're going to get spread out rides, and that's when it would make sense to be charging stuff while you're in the car. When you're hopping in and out of cars, like, I'm more than anything just risking myself leaving something in the car. Praise the sun until it doesn't work the way you need. Well, the sun provides plenty of power if you have a large enough surface area of solar arrays. It's just you can't really carry that much. Live streaming is fairly power intensive, and you just don't get enough from a small portable solar panel. Remember, you put the solar panel on top of your backpack? Yeah, I had it clipped to the top, and I'd Velcro it, and it would fold down. It was 3-panel, and it would just kind of hang off the back of my backpack. So powering to you, if you have a 20,000 mAh anchor for super cheap. I have a 22,000 mAh battery, a 20,000 mAh battery, a 12,000 mAh battery, a 10,000 mAh battery, and a 4,000 mAh battery. Are you consider a solar panel suit? I think that would be excellent. Okay, got a little good morning. I'll stream for an hour in this town and try again at the Mackinac Bridge. Only place with LT. Talk soon. Thanks again. Alright, see ya. Good luck with your first stream. Maybe I'll try and check out the VOD later if I have some time. But yeah, I'm interested to see what you do with live stream. I think it's a great format for showing the world live as it happens. So I'll have to keep up. I'll tell you, I'm 6'10", 280 pounds. Maybe you need a wind turbine head. There we go. Unlimited power, especially in the prairies. It's windy here. Hitchhiking back from St. John's of Flying. I'm going to hitchhike as much as I can. I might run out of time before TwitchCon, and I'll have to fly at least part way. You may look rather silly hitchhiking with a solar-powered baseball hat, so solar panel may or may not work in your favor. Yeah, just a big, like, full brim hat. That's solar panels on top? Did you just say 6'10"? I did. 6'10", 280. And everyone that has picked me up, or people that watch the stream, can 100% confirm that. Last night I stayed with DJ Quicks and Laramie, and I'm sure he'd be like, yeah, 6'10". Disco Panda, another Winnipegian. I don't know what you call it. What do you call people from Winnipeg? We have so many viewers from Winnipeg. I don't know why. I have not been to a place in anywhere, Hitchhiking America, Hitchhiking Canada now, where we have so many viewers in one city. Would you not get a scooter or something? Just for this, you might walk between rides, because I know Beg is huge. I think, yeah, a scooter would probably be the easiest one to maneuver with the backpack. And what do those weigh? Like 10 pounds? You walk way too much for 280? Whatever. Alright, that'll be the next major place I hit. You're 5'10". Dang it! Travis! This is part of the joke on the channel. You're not supposed to spoil it. Yeah, talk soon, Travis. Shilling Co-op. This is an A&W next to a gas station, and I think, like, that's the Co-op. That's a Petrocan. Bruno Dab. Hi. Alright, let's go. I'm ready to roll. Oh, I need a jacket. I'll be rocking my red jacket this morning. I probably have to wear gloves too. The wind's going pretty well. But I already have an east sign. It should be sufficient. It's Highway 1 East. Terex Alpha FL. It's supposed to rain today? Here? Where? Winnipeg? Right now it's nice, but I know that can change very quickly. MVK, good morning. 1 p.m. said it's gonna rain. I should be out of here by 1 p.m. But where is it coming from? Is the rain and the system coming from the east or the west? If it's coming from the east, then I might just be driving into it and get there earlier. If it's coming from the west, then maybe I'll outrun it. Or you never know. It's 8:24 a.m. right now, but I could not get a ride. I could be here until that rain comes at 1 p.m. You never know. With hitchhiking, you never know. Sometimes you think you're in the best spot ever. Like, I thought I was in a good spot in that place in Tennessee, and I waited 6.5 hours for a ride. I was waiting for my 200th ride of Hitchhiking America. But let's go. As a heads up, we're 100% going to have a lot of network problems today. We're going to be driving into the Canadian Shield. Just part of Canada. It's very rocky. Like, you wouldn't say like mountainous, but it's like these big, jagged kind of rocky hills, and like the highways kind of cut through that. Not good for network. Also, things are very spread out. There's not a town every 30 kilometers. How long has he been traveling? This is day 10 of this trip, but I've been traveling and hitchhiking on stream since April. I've been hitchhiking in my life for 4 years. Yeah, you're gonna want to get out of Winnipeg before it starts snowing? Well, I hitchhiked through snowy Edmonton, because Edmonton is getting snow. When is it too cold for you to do this? Too cold for me, it's probably limited down to where the cold. We have problems with batteries, cold. I've hitchhiked like in minus 40 degrees before. I've hitchhiked in the Canadian Arctic in winter, and I've camped in the Canadian Arctic in winter. So there's no temperature where I really cut myself off. If it was like minus 50 plus wind chill, I would probably try to avoid being out there, because that's really hard to manage. That extra wind kind of cutting through your layers. But yeah, it's kind of hitchhiked in all conditions. Where does he shower? When he gets an opportunity. You can ask me. You don't have to ask them. I'll answer your questions. I shower when I get an opportunity. That doesn't happen every day. So I've gone up to 8 days or so without a shower in my hitchhiking trips. Longest I did on Hitchhiking America was 4 days without a shower, I think. Longest I've gone on this trip is 3 days. Yeah. Because essentially, if we go back to the battery thing, I have to pretty much sleep inside to recharge my batteries every third night. And that's usually an opportunity to shower as well. Jeez, Canada with your connection. We're in frickin' Winnipeg. You can't hold a 700-bit rate stream? Hey, Zedsies. Your watch? Yeah, Victor actually gave me a watch. A little digital watch. I usually don't when I'm hitchhiking. I used to actually. I used to hitchhike with my Victorinox Swiss analog chronograph. How's Winnipeg? It's kind of chilly. But I checked out the city yesterday, and you know what? I never actually stopped in Winnipeg. I always just bypassed it, and I liked it. And that's a very normal thing. Like I'll pass through a place and not really give it a chance, and then when I actually stop there, like quite often these cities are nice places. I just don't stop there very often. Okay, I have to cross this road, and there's no crosswalk. Good morning, Google guy. Thank you. Good morning. Yes, I am the Google guy. That's me. Can't believe how bad the connection is right here. It's literally right in town. Like outskirts of Winnipeg, but major area, major intersection. Alright, look at that shoulder though. Sexy shoulder I've ever seen. Huge, wide shoulder, like hard shoulder, about as wide as a lane of traffic. And then a pretty good soft shoulder on top of that. Doesn't get much better than that. Alright, here's my spot. This is what I see. Cars are fast. But they do get stopped at a light fairly frequently. And the line of sight's good. They're going straight for just about a kilometer before they hit me. And then the shoulder is about as good as it can get. You get a new mic? No. I'm using the old mic and just hoping for the best for right now. Dang it, back. I'm on connection, come back. That was quick. Hey, how's it going? Pretty good. Help me out. No, I'm documenting the process of hitchhiking, so I have a little camera here. It doesn't have to be on you, but it kind of pointing out the window or inside the vehicle. Is that something you're comfortable with?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Listen to music? Yeah, that's cool. Bag in the